Hey, my name's Luke David Robinson, and I'm trading my way up to my dream car. A while ago, I bought a beta of a car for just £180, and I fixed it and flipped it for profit and repeated the process again and again. Will I ever find my way to that dream car of mine? Who knows, but it's sure gonna be fun trying. This is Talksteer, running down a dream.
This is a 1989 Peugeot 205 1.6 GTI, and I picked this car up close to a year ago. I've probably had this for about 7 or 8 months, but it's only now that I'm just showing you this car on the channel. Now, I bought two 205s at the same time. There was this one and also a silver 1.6 CTI, which is basically the convertible version of the GTI. Now, I was only ever interested in this car, the GTI, because for the Running Down a Dream project, these are worth about twice as much as the convertible. But the convertible had some real useful parts on it that I took off ready to stick on this car, including the front bumper in colour, a real good set of 1.6 GTI wheels, and also the air intake, amongst a few other little bits. Now, I bought the cars off the same person who was my friend Dave. Well, his actual mate had the cars, his mate Tom, but Dave put me onto these cars after seeing the red 1.9 GTI I was talking about and saying about all the spare bits I had, and he said, you know what, I've got these cars here, they make some good projects if you've got a few bits to finish them off. And I looked down and yeah, they were good, solid cars that would make perfect projects. So firstly, Dave, thank you very much for putting me onto these cars. They are going to be great. And also, I have sold the 1.6 CTI already. I got £1,250 back for it, which puts this car now at £1,750, and this car actually runs. So a running 205 GTI for under £2,000. Yes, please. These cars still do really good money once they are fixed up, and this car is actually really solid. It's not going to be the nicest example, but it's going to make a pretty decent example when it's finished. Now, this car was being restored, but we don't actually know what the story of this car is, because stuff like the wings are missing, the bumpers were missing, the interior's missing, and these cars were left in a lockup for a few years. It was only Dave's mate, when he bought the garage, he found all these cars left inside them and proceeded to sell them off, and that's where Dave gave me a call and said, hey, we've got these 205s here, are you interested in them? And I was like, yes please, I am very interested in a 205. Now, these cars are legit. I've had the logbooks in my name for close to a year now, and nothing's happened with them, and I had full receipts made out and all that, so there's no worries, no comeback on this car. We can only speculate of why the cars weren't finished off, but there could be any number of reasons. Maybe the person left the country, maybe they didn't pay any rents on the garage and it was taking his payments, who knows. But here are the cars now, and yeah, I feel like I got a pretty good deal on the cars. Now, this car has been written off. I think it was stolen around 2010 and subsequently written off, and I don't think it was written off for any crash damage, because the car looks pretty solid all around. What I think this car was written off for, and I'm only speculating here, was that it was actually stripped for parts, and hence why so many bits of this car are actually missing. If I go around to this side of the car, there is, despite being very straight down the side, there is a little bit of damage to the top of the door where it's been bent back, and I'm guessing now is the point of entry onto the car. So the door is really good, but I'm just going to have to get, I think, a dent specialist or panel beater just to straighten the top of this door out. Now, thankfully, the creases aren't too sharp in the metal, and it's very thin metal up there, so it should be quite easy for someone who has a bit of skill to manipulate this door back into perfect shape. Anyway, yeah, this car is gonna start off being restored on the Running Down a Dream series before I do the 1.9 GTI, which is shown probably also a year ago as well on the channel. Now, there's a reason I've not been showing the 1.9 GTI much since our initial introduction. It's just because, well, firstly, obviously, you know, I've had health issues and I've been away from the channel for a while, and it's also a big project, and this one's going to make a much better sense to start off with the smaller projects before doing the big one. One, because I can increase my knowledge on working on cars, and especially 205s. I can get this one out the way, and it's just going to be a good practice run until I get the bigger project done, which is going to need a full engine out job and fully stripped back and then fully put back together and a respray and everything, and it's going to be a full-on intense job. With this one, it's kind of like just putting the car back together. It's already been pretty much resprayed and it's been restored. You look underneath the engine bay, loads of the components are brand new down there. And actually, that's one of the reasons why I think this car was stripped. There's so many new components on this car that makes me think a lot of the valuable stuff's taken off and they've been added back onto it. So the 1.9 GTI will be coming in the future, but if we actually go back a bit further and talk about the Seat Ibiza, which I had last year on the Running Down a Dream series, where does that take off from this car? Because this car now officially is a successor to the Seat Ibiza for doing the running down the Dream. So I had a budget of £3,200, that's why I sold the set Ibiza for. This was £1,750, and if maths serves me right, that leaves me £1,450 in the budget to finish this car off. And considering about 95% of the car is here or around me or lying in the garden somewhere from spare bits I had from the 1.9 GTI, I am pretty certain we can get that car done on this budget. So, first thing I'm going to do is just on this video clear out everything that's inside this car, box and label it up, and then I think we'll leave that video there and that's actually start working on the car throughout the week, which probably will start off with doing some body work before the weather gets too bad and then it gets too cold where I can't really start spray painting. So anyway, let's go and open this up, see what's inside it, lay it all out, and hope that there's no water ingress or anything else around the car after staying in the garden for a few months. One of the major things missing out of this car, obviously, is the back window, and that's why I need to get this into the garage as soon as possible. I've had covers over it to protect it, but this plastic is starting to go through, and with the bad weather coming in, this car would have started getting damaged pretty easily if it was still left outside in the elements. But we got it in just in time, but I'll take that off in a second. But underneath here, there is so much spare components, well, maybe not spare components, but components to put back together on the car. So let's go and pull this out, maybe separate them into interior bits, engine bits, etc. And well, it's got a headliner, that's good. And let's see what we have. So this is the front bumper that I took off the GTI. This car was missing the front bumper. And what I actually did with the GTI, even though I sold it with a front bumper, I took the one off the 1.9 GTI, which was all cracked and really damaged and pretty much beyond repair, especially for the level I want to finish the 1.9 off at. And I sprayed it with wheel paint silver and just stuck it on the car. And you know, I was honest with the state of the plastics on the GTI. I wasn't trying to fool anyone. But so I'm gonna have to get a bumper for that car. But this one is in really, really good condition, and it's actually all in the right colour and everything. Bumper is in good condition. The valance is all sprayed right. There is, well, I say, there's a little tiny bit of paint damage down here, but that's going to be quite easy to fix because it's only beneath this lip. So that's a really good thing to have. I'm going to have to get some spotlights for it. So what else do we have? There is some spray paint in here, which is handy. This one actually looks like to be the right colour for the car. Peugeot grey, something, I can't really see, it's come off a little bit, but that should be the colour we need for the front wing, which is not painted, as well as just some zinc primer, plastic coating. I'm sure that's all going to come in useful. We've got the headlights, which are actually brand new. So headlights, indicators, all that right, ready for the front. So the front face of the car is all there. The 1.9 GTI, when I bought it, that came with about 5 grills. So I actually found a spare grill in the often colour, so things shouldn't be this easy. But yeah, there you go, there's a grill in colour, which this car didn't have. What else did we get? One thing I couldn't find anywhere for this car was a slam panel, so I did have to buy a slam panel off eBay. And slam panel, so yeah, that came to about 15 quid, so still doing pretty good on price. So deducts another £15 off the budget. The trims for the rear quarters, the inside of the cars, which I think are GTI specific them as well. Regular 205 don't have the ashtrays and like little armrests in there or cubby holes. On the driver's side, the glass is missing out the window. But here we go. Here's the glass to go into it. Here are some back seats from, these appear to be the 1.9 GTI half leather. The 1.6 only had cloth throughout, where the GTIs had half leather and cloth. Although the front seats are missing. There was one seat that came with it. No, actually, no, the front seat in this car, that came off the 1.9 GTI. That came with a seat from, it looks like a 205 XS. It's in pretty good condition, actually. Like a nice computer chair. So I might go with 1.9 seats for the front if I can find a decent set in this kind of pattern which the back seats are in. There is the genuine air intake, which seems quite hard to get these days. The other indicator for the front, plastics underneath the dash, a spoiler for the back window. I actually bought this because I didn't have a spare one. I think I bought that for about £50, so again deduct that from the budget, so about £65 in for bits. I threw them in there. These are just orange indicators, which might actually go on the car. They're meant to be orange on this car rather than clear, so I might stick the orange ones back on because it does have the pre-facelift rear lights, so it may be worth putting pre-facelift front lights on, just to keep the continuity right. This car is pre-facelift anyway. Radiator, which I think I got this off the 1.9 GTI actually, a spare one, so this car didn't come with a radiator, but a little bit bent but looks in usable condition. A steering wheel from the, that's actually from the 1.9 GTI, the steering wheel. Just threw down there because I had nowhere to stick it. The bumper supports, I think, from the front bumper. I think they're off, they're off the 1.9 GTI then, but I'll clean them up, stick them on this car because it's going to need them for the bumper. So let's throw that near the front. Well, there we have it. There is my 1.6 GTI. If you want to see this car be restored and more cars like this in the future, you know what to do. Likes if you liked it, dislikes if you don't, and subs if you loved it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. See you soon, and as always, take care.